first requirement of all horses, not just in dressage, but anything else, the first requirement for a horse to learn is the idea of forward. We all pretty much know this to be true, because otherwise you have this beautiful animal standing still, but with regards to sport or art, it can't be taken any further without the animal understanding this idea of moving forward. In order to go forward, 2,000 years ago or so, they decided that there should be a set of aids for that. We call them the set of driving aids. And the set of driving aids is made up of 3 separate aids. The 3 aids within the set of driving aids are the seat and the 2 legs. And the seat will incorporate the use of the back and the use of the stomach muscles, the chest. All right? So now, how do we use the seat to make the seat a driving aid? Well, as you would breathe in while you're sitting on your seats right there, breathe in. And as the air goes into your lungs, feel yourself grow taller in your seats right now. And as you grow taller, you feel the muscles expand. Your diaphragm opens up, comes up this way, and your chest actually rises. Your shoulders fall backwards. At this point, you're in a position of strength. When you're like this, you're in a position of weakness, right? When you're here, you're in a position of strength. And with that strength, we can either drive as if we were going to think in our minds of driving the cantle of the saddle towards the pommel of the saddle, the back towards the front, or if you were on a swing, pushing the swing forward with your seat, or you can use the seat not as a driving tool at that second, but by still coming to this position and thinking in terms of sitting against the motion of the horse. That seat is called a stilled seat. And at that moment, it isn't a driving tool. So we have really 3 ways of being in the saddle. We can be passive. Tammy's right now basically sitting quietly on her horse, happily on the horse in the movement. She's passive. We can be driving now as one of the 3 driving aids, where we sit and we act by driving the horse forward, the cantle of the saddle towards the pommel of the saddle, or we can still this. Now, if I said to Tammy right now, I'd like you to kick the horse slightly with your right leg, does anyone believe that the horse would not go forward off that? The educated horse, even slightly, or the horse learning, will go forward off that. Will go a little faster. Just give a little push with your right leg. Yes, the horse went faster. Walk quietly. Tammy, give a little push with your left leg. The horse went forward. Okay, Tammy, without any leg, right now push with the seat. The horse went forward. Okay, so there we have proof. An aid must prove that it is an aid by virtue of the fact that it can and must independently, by itself, be able to produce at least partially that quality that you desire within the horse. That's my hypothesis. Is it fair? Okay. The next idea, after the horse has learned to go forward from the driving aids, is that they have to begin to overlap lines that they're going along. That means the quality of straightness. The straight horse overlaps the line that he's moving along, such that his hind feet follow in the tracks of his front feet on the same side, and so that he looks like a segment of the line that he's moving on. So that in order to be a straight horse, obviously the animal has to learn to bend, because otherwise he couldn't overlap the bent line as he's moving along it. There we go to the second set of aids, the set of bending aids. And guess what? Just like there were 3 driving aids, there are 3 bending aids. So if I said to Tammy right now, Tammy, don't use any legs, don't use any reins, can you please bend the horse to the left with your seat? No legs, no reins. And there she goes out the door of the ring. So obviously, and if you think right now, think of trying to bend a horse by your seat. No legs, no reins. The animal cannot be bent by the use of your seat by itself. So the seat proves itself right now to have no function in the creation of bend to the inside or to the outside for that matter. Likewise, if I say, Tammy, I'd like you to not use any inside rein, don't use any leg whatsoever, and now bend the horse to the inside by pulling on the outside rein. Can you? So, the outside rein also, therefore, proves itself to have no function in the creation of bend to the inside. That leaves us with 3 aids. The inside leg, the outside leg, the inside rein. Guess what? That's them. The inside leg is put at the girth. We begin changing the animal's bend from his center of gravity by driving the girth area outwards by pressure from the inner leg. Once it's provided that amount of bend, then that leg is relaxed again. Now the problem is, the animal, feeling that pressure from the inner leg, is going to do what? If you just use your right leg without anything else, where are the hindquarters going to go, Tammy? Outside, that's right. So we bring our outer leg slightly behind the girth to use as a barrier to prevent the hindquarters from swinging out. And now from the girth backwards, we have this nicely bent animal. However, from the girth forward, we have to produce the equal amount of bend that we've produced in the trunk of the horse. So by closing the inner hand just into a fist, just enough to then ask the horse's head and neck to become consistent in the bend with the horse's trunk, we produced this nice overlap of the line that we're going along. And once we've used these aids, and this is important for you all to understand, the driving or the bending aids, once we produce what we want, we relax. It's not constant, right? Because finally, if you're always like this on them, or always say, come on, bend, come on, bend, finally they say, enough of you. You know? So, now we have a problem. And that is this. If I say to Tammy, take up your inside rein, your inner legs on the girth, your outer legs behind the girth. Now, I would like you, only taking up your tight inside rein, to use your driving aids, the set of driving aids, the 2 legs in the seat, and the set of bending aids, the 2 legs in the inside rein. Take the inner rein right up, no outside rein, good. And now use your set of driving aids and bending aids. Here we go, folks. She's using her driving aids. Use your driving aids more. Now use your bending aids more. Okay, walk. Well, some things happened, right? Did she produce forward motion from the driving aids? Yes. Did she produce bend from the bending aids? Yes. The problem is, now we have to have something left at our disposal that has the job of regulating the amount of forward motion that we are going to create from the driving aids and the amount of bend that we're going to create from the bending aids. And there is one aid left at our disposal that she ended up having to use when I said walk. Did you all notice it? The outside rein, right? The outside rein can be called the rein or the aid of opposition because its job is to oppose or say no to too much of the first 2 sets of aids. All right? The 3 sets of aids right there for you.